What's good? We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. Talk about the final thoughts for, Gary Russell Jr. and Jojo Diaz. Final thoughts cover the weigh-in. Jojo Diaz jumped on the scale first, being the challenger. Weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds. Gary Russell then jumped on and came in at 125 and a half. So they both made weight. That means Gary Russell's featherweight WBC championship is on the line. Now, this is right before the Adonis Stevenson weigh-in. So we'll do the final thoughts on that. And don't forget, we're going live around 6:37-ish for our final pick'em show for Adonis Stevenson, Badou Jack in this fight, Gary Russell, Jojo Diaz, by the way. And thanks for all the support, subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, trust me, you're going to want to subscribe because we do more than boxing. And we cover a lot of different aspects of life and sports and everything else. So appreciate you for even thinking about subscribing. Hopefully you go ahead and subscribe, listen to this video, you like what you hear. What's going on at the MGM National Harbor Bay, and the DMV down in the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. So this is a good fight. I'm telling you right now, this fight probably could steal tonight. It's a double main event. This main event from DC, then you got Badou Jack and Adonis Stevenson taking it from Canada into Toronto, and this comes on first. And I like Stevenson. I watched Jojo Diaz before, but I was very, very intrigued from looking at the tape of both fighters, but Jojo Diaz in particular. I think Jojo Diaz, I know he's an Olympian, and I think he got the skills to win this fight. I'm gonna link my breakdown prediction video so you can hear why I picked the winner, which I did pick Gary Russell Jr. To win like a narrow fight, 2 to 3 points. I don't think it's gonna be wide-sided, and I think Jojo Diaz is going to be able to take some of the what Gary Russell dishes out, and I think he's going to dish it back on Gary Russell, but it's going to be a good war. We cited that reasons for Diaz winning this fight is going to be because due to inactivity by Gary Russell, and a lot of the brothers that we had on the panel when we do our live shows this week wanted Gary Russell to lose his fight to Jojo Diaz because most feel Jojo Diaz is better for the sport of boxing, so he's going to stay active and defend his championship belts. And I got another video coming up about Gary Russell's inactivity, so y'all be on the lookout for that a little bit later on tonight. But yeah, Jojo Diaz can go to the body. He might have the second fastest hands in the division, I believe. He a big, strong, physical kid. He gonna dig to the body, and that'd be a way to get an inactive fighter, in some trouble. Especially a guy with the hand speed of Gary Russell. You want to deflate those tires a little bit, and use your jab and go to the body like I said in the breakdown prediction video for Jojo. And one thing Jojo will do, he go to the body, and he'll punch with you. He's a good counter puncher. Gary Russell, he's a guy that usually punches at the same speed. I'm starting to see some maturity where he kind of changed speeds a little bit. He underrated the way in how he attacks. He's a multi-dimensional fighter a little bit more than what he was when he was coming up 20-0 and then getting beat by Vasily Lomachenko. He's changed some things. He's grown as a fighter. Most guys get beat get beat in a big high-profile fight versus a guy like Lomachenko was 1-1 at the time, but he had a great amateur record. Most guys lose to guys like that, and they just go into a shell and never the same fighter. Gary Russell got better. So that's telling you that Gary Russell does have character, and it rubbed people the wrong way when he came out on the show that he said he didn't love boxing. He don't even watch it. So, some people feel some type of way. And it is what it is, man. It's going to be a great fight. This is a great night of boxing for Premier Boxing Champions. A lot of people talk junk about Premier Boxing Champions, but they can't tell me who's giving you better fights at this point. And it's going to be a good fight. It got speed and power. Both guys got speed. Gary Russell got better power at featherweight. Jojo ain't a big puncher, but you never know. When you're inactive like Gary Russell and you have the hand injuries of Gary Russell, the chronic hand injuries, anything can happen. The way how wild he punches, how fast he punches. And that's the one thing about Gary Russell. He hasn't really harnessed his speed yet. He's still punching a little bit reckless. He got to, kind of be a little bit more judicious with his punches and kind of pick his shots when he want to burst and not burst and stop going so machine gun, because that's how he hurts his hands, But like I said, this is going to be a premium fight right here. Here you go with Golden Boy. Back-to-back weeks made fights with Top Rank with Linares and Lomachenko. And now with Jojo Diaz with Premier Boxing Champion Showtime making another fight. They are right now they're the prototype for what we want in promoters working together. They working with all sides. It's not like they have the luxury of not working with all sides, but they don't because they don't have a large stable, So they got to work with other promoters to get the fights that their fighters want. And this is a mandatory title shot. Gary Russell fought 12 months ago, and that's something in the back of everybody's head, man. You know, his inactivity going to catch up with him. I know a lot of guys, he stays in the gym. He stays in shape. Doesn't look too out of shape, you know, in between fights when he does interviews. But, you know, I mean, sparring and gym work is different. A real fight is different intervals in the fight. They're unpredictable intervals of speed and burst in the fight. The animosity that you might have, the back of your mind, like if you get dropped and knocked out in sparring or have a bad round, have a bad day, it's always tomorrow going to go on your record. When it's on the record, you know, it's permanent. You know, it's a totally different type of ball game. And I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a premier fight. This is going to be a good fight. I'm not sure that it ends in a knockout. I'm not saying it won't, but I just think it's going to be a hell of a fight. You know, I really do. I like both guys. You know, I underrated Jojo Diaz when I first found out this fight was announced. Like I tell you guys, when I turn on the tape and break down the film, Jojo Diaz flashed. He has a really, really good chance of winning this fight, in my opinion. You know, I said 60-40, and maybe 10% is due to the inactivity of Gary Russell. But Jojo Diaz is a dog. He's been active. He's a good fighter. Golden Boy should be proud to have him on their stable. And, you know, he works. He works. He will not lay down, you know. And the knockout percentages may drop by thinking that, you know, he'll rather than going to safe mode and survival mode, that he'll put it all on the line and, you know, rather get knocked out with pride than go out like a sucker and going into safe mode. So I will say that he does have the pride of his Latino heritage. Gary Russell is a guy with a lot of pride. He's gonna be fighting at home in front of his home crowd, and hopefully that hometown cooking don't come into play here. We see some questionable things with Amir Khan and Lamont Peterson down near the DC Armory, and hopefully don't come into play. Hopefully we get a clear-cut winner, and I'm definitely excited for this fight, probably more than others. But like I said, I'm gonna link my breakdown prediction video so you can get a better idea how I see this fight and why I see it breaking down that way. But both guys make weight. Both guys look phenomenal. WBC featherweight crown on the line. Don't forget, check the description. We got links for the donation. You want to donate for us to travel, cover some of these fights. Logo, website coming. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, links, and usernames all in the description. And definitely appreciate it, man. And shout out to the LDBC and all the brothers over there making moves. We gone.